Blink your eyes. Just once. In the tiny fraction of a second it took you to do that, millions of microscopic receptors in your skull just captured stray particles of light. They converted those particles into electricity and beamed a high-definition, three-dimensional movie directly into your brain. Right now, as you listen to my voice, you are using the most impossibly complex biological machine in the known universe. But this organic supercomputer inside your head is so flawlessly perfect, it almost destroyed the greatest scientific theory in human history. And it gave Charles Darwin absolute nightmares. When Darwin published his theory of evolution in 1859, he knew he had a massive problem. His entire life's work relied on one simple, brutal rule. Evolution is blind. It does not plan ahead. It builds complex things through clumsy, accidental upgrades over millions of years. Every single small step has to be immediately useful to an animal, right in that moment, or the animal dies and the trait vanishes forever. And that is exactly where the human eye breaks all the rules. Because an eye isn't just one thing. It is a wildly complex, interdependent system. A cornea, an iris, a lens, a retina, an optic nerve, all working in simultaneous, perfect synchronization. Think about it like a car engine. A spark plug is completely useless without fuel. A piston is useless without a crankshaft. If you don't have all the parts working together perfectly at the exact same time, the engine doesn't start. It is just a heavy block of useless metal. The eye works the exact same way. A crystal clear lens is just a lump of jelly if there is no retina behind it to catch the light. A retina is just dead tissue if it doesn't have an optical nerve wired directly into the brain. So, what good is 5% of an eye? What good is a blurry lens or a disconnected nerve? Nature is ruthless. If a half-evolved eye doesn't work, why would nature keep it around long enough to finish building it? Darwin knew this was a fatal flaw. He openly confessed in his private letters that the idea of the human eye evolving by random blind chance seemed, and this is his exact quote, absurd in the highest degree. He called it his cold sweat. For decades, critics pointed to your eyes as the ultimate proof that evolution was a lie. That something this mathematically complex had to be fully designed, completely finished from the very beginning. But the answer to this impossible puzzle wasn't buried in a dusty fossil record. The answer is alive, right now, hiding in the darkest corners of the ocean, in 4 incredibly bizarre steps. Step 1. The light switch. If you look closely at certain microscopic flatworms alive today, they don't have eyes, but they do have a tiny patch of mutated, light-sensitive skin on their heads. It acts like a crude biological solar panel. It cannot see shapes, it cannot see color, but it can tell the difference between light and dark. If a predator swims overhead and blocks the sun, the worm knows to hide. It is not a camera, it is a biological burglar alarm. And in the brutal ancient oceans, that was just enough of an advantage to keep the worm alive. Step 1, solved. Step 2, the cup. Give that flatworm a few million years, and the sheer chaos of genetics makes a tiny adjustment. That flat patch of light-sensitive skin randomly mutates, curving slightly inward to form a microscopic bowl. This seems useless, but it actually changes everything. Because now, light can only hit certain parts of the bowl depending on the angle. Suddenly, the creature doesn't just know a shadow is there, it knows exactly which direction the shadow is coming from. The cup gives the animal directional awareness. Still no image, but a massive survival advantage. Step 3. The pinhole. Over thousands of generations, that cup continues to curve inward, closing tighter and tighter, until there is only a microscopic dot of an opening left. And suddenly, physics takes over. When light squeezes through a tiny pinhole, it naturally projects a flipped, crude, high-definition image onto the back of the chamber. It operates exactly like an antique pinhole camera. You don't even need a lens to do this. The ancient Nautilus, a bizarre deep-sea creature that has survived out there for 500 million years, navigates the freezing black oceans right now using this exact trick. Step 4. The lens. All that is left is for a layer of clear, protective mucus to form over that pinhole to keep the salt water out. Over time, that clear slime hardens, and purely by biological accident, it begins to bend the incoming light. Congratulations, you have just mutated a magnifying glass. From a blind patch of skin to a fully working, focusable organic camera. And scientists have run the mathematical models on this. Even with the most conservative estimates, this entire sequence could evolve in just 364,000 years. In the grand timeline of the Earth, that isn't a slow evolution. That is a biological flashbang. But here is the part of the story that is genuinely unsettling. If the eye is a 1,000,000-to-1 genetic lottery ticket, a beautiful, miraculous accident, then it should have only happened once in the history of the Earth, right? Wrong. Let's look at the octopus. Humans and octopuses split off from the evolutionary family tree so incredibly long ago, we might as well be alien species to each other. Our last common ancestor was a microscopic worm gliding on the ocean floor over 500 million years ago. We are separated by 500 million years of distinct, isolated evolution. Yet, if you look inside an octopus's skull, it has a camera eye almost identical to yours. It has the same basic layout, the same crystal-clear lens, the same fluid-filled chamber. Evolution didn't just stumble into the miracle of sight once. This specific biological machine is so perfectly efficient and so incredibly powerful that nature blindly plagiarized itself. It built the exact same machine twice, completely independently. It is a phenomenon called convergent evolution, and it proves that the eye isn't an impossible accident. It is an inevitable biological destination. Darwin's greatest nightmare turned out to be evolution's absolute masterpiece. So, next time you look in the mirror, look closely at the center of your eye. You aren't just looking at a biological camera. You are looking at hundreds of thousands of years of terrifying, blind, accidental survival. You are looking through the upgraded eyes of a deep-sea worm. And if you think a biological machine evolving out of absolute nothingness is strange, wait until you find out about the terrifying cosmic chain of events that created the water in your body. Click the video on your screen right now, because mathematically, Earth shouldn't actually have any water at all. I'll see you there.